Hello, I'm Ronnie Graham.
And I'm Marcel Moore.
And we are
Misunderstood.
Okay, that was that we wanted to be.
We wanted to be kind of corny like that.
Yeah, we did.
But misunderstood. So MS is multiple sclerosis. And we share that diagnosis. And misunderstood because y'all don't know what the heck MS is.
Yes. All right, so first I'm going to introduce. I'm Ronnie Graham. I am a single mother of one. I got one piece. That's it. One and done. I'm 46 years old, and I am a therapist, a behavioral therapist for children and adults. I'm a personal trainer. I'm an actress, and I'm a comedian, and I think I'm done.
She got a lot of things. Let me see. So I'm Marcel Moore. I'm a wife, a mom of two. I got a teenage son that's 16, an 11-year-old daughter. I'm in real estate. What else do? I do mortgage lending, and I'm fun. I'm a good friend. I'm a good friend.
I'm co-sign that on.
I'm a great mama.
Co-sign that.
Great wife.
I can't co-sign. I mean, she
can't co-sign that,
but she faithful. Like, she don't be playing. She don't be entertaining the outside.
Exactly.
She be outside with her husband.
I do be outside.
You be outside with your husband.
I be outside with him.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
We've been in this. We actually became close because of our diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I used to see her on Instagram working out. I'm like, I know she got MS. She's doing a lot of the stuff that I like to do.
Right. And it was crazy because I did used to see you, like she used to be at this, what do you call it? Like the gym. G-Fit, gym and doing CrossFit and stuff. And then I got into my journey with the personal training. And yeah, it was just like, did we DM each other or something? Like,
I did. I said, I'm coming to work out with you.
And I was like,
okay,
let's go. Right. And it's been,
that's
2 years?
It's been like 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
Been in the gym.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So first we want to say is we want to actually tell y'all what MS is, okay? What multiple sclerosis is, because
some bullshit.
All my people out, it is some bullshit. Yes, it's some bullshit. That's the first definition. But a lot of people don't know what MS is. Like, based off of the things they say to us over the course of the years.
Right.
Yeah, y'all don't get it. So we're going to
break it down.
We could break it down.
So I didn't know what MS was either.
I didn't either. We both did.
So one day, Ver, my husband, was like, something's going on with your eyes. And I'm like, what's going on with my eyes? And he was like, one of them is looking, the other one is kind of like, so I was like, oh my God, I'm getting cross-eyed. I'm getting a lazy eye.
That was from, okay.
So I'm like, but I've been wearing glasses since I was in the 3rd grade. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the eye doctor.
Okay.
So I went to the eye doctor and she was like, well, your eye seems healthy. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Let me check your optical nerve. And she was like, I'm going to send you to a specialist. So I went to a eye specialist and she ran all these tests on me and I was doing all this. I'm like, but I've never seen my eye do whatever Vern was saying it was doing.
Right.
But he noticed it like multiple times. So I'm like, okay. So after the specialist, she was like, I think it's a function of your brain. I'm going to send you to have an MRI. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I went and got this MRI and, you go in the tunnel. It was my first MRI. Go in the tunnel. The tunnel is not a place that anybody wants to be.
And hence, I love it. But go ahead.
You love the tunnel?
Listen, that's the best sleep in the world.
Hell to the hell no.
I'll be like, don't wake me up. I'm asleep.
I feel like somebody is burying me alive.
That's how my grandma was.
I was like, listen, I told the tech, I said, I need you to speak to me like every scan. Like every time the noise goes away, I need to know that somebody is here with me because I'm alone in this tunnel. So anyway, I go get the MRI. And she's like, when she brings the thing back, she was like, oh, okay, I'm going to send you to a neurologist for a specialist because the results of this mimic MS. I'm like, what the hell is MS?
That's what we all did here. What is MS?
So I go to this neurologist. He's looking at the scans and he's like, yeah, that's what it is. I like, what the hell is MS? Right. Still having, nobody's telling me what MS is.
Right.
So multiple sclerosis, it's horrible. Yeah. No, I shouldn't say it's horrible because I'm doing well.
Yes, by the grace of God, we are we're different, but
We're thriving.
we're thriving. Right.
Sure.
We're thriving compared to other people that I've seen, and you guys have probably seen it in like the news, like Selma. Oh my God, what's her name? No, but oh my gosh, what's her
Selma
name?
Hayek?
No, that's the Mexican lady. That's the Mexican lady.
I know you're talking
who's
about
on Sports Illustrated, looking beautiful at 50
I can't
something
think
years
of her
old.
name.
But Selma Blair, yeah. She's like, her speech is like crazy. She couldn't walk for a while. Like, she looked like she had Parkinson's almost. Like, it was.
Yeah, and then you don't know. And you figure, so when I got diagnosed with MS, I was 28. I didn't have any kids. And I'm like, okay, so what do I do now? What?
Right.
I went and got a second opinion, and the second opinion was like, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Like, he ain't lying.
He not lying. He know what he talking about. I'm like, oh shoot. So now I got my whole family in the neurologist's office. I'm in full tears, and I'm like, okay, how does this change my everyday?
Right.
But it didn't. That was the thing. At first it did not. Like, and I was like, okay, like kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Okay.
Like I was still doing my same thing, hanging, wearing my heels.
We'll get to that too.
And doing all the things, running.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. So I didn't feel like I had gotten any type of death sentence or anything.
Right.
I just was like, I got a diagnosis.
Right.
So
first, what MS is, to explain to our audience, is, okay, if you can imagine a computer, right? And a computer sends, has the wires, and it sends signals out to the keyboard to do all kinds of stuff, like what you want to do, to the mouse, whatever. So the cords, the wires have a covering, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine that covering being attacked and being eaten out, right? Yeah. And so once that covering is gone, those wires don't work. And now the wires don't work, the messages can't go through the wires. So that's what it is. It's our brain is the computer that's sending all the messages to everything in our body.
Yep.
And the disease is pretty much attacking the coating around our nerves. And once that coating is gone, it's gone. It don't
come back.
So, and then we have lesions on it could be our brain, neck, and spinal cord. And depending on where those lesions are and how big they are,
it'll impact what's affected.
Affects whatever.
I have some of my spine, and that's why I impact.
Do you know how many lesions you've had? Like the most you've had at one time?
I don't.
Okay. The most I've had was 25.
Oh shoot! Really?
At the height of the height.
On your spine? No.
Everywhere. Like brain, neck, and spine. That's why I get I had brain, neck, and spinal cord.
That's how you've been on your Ocrevus for
so long. Yeah, because it was macaroni. It was a lot. It was a lot. So my diagnosis was pretty much mine wasn't an eye thing. So what mine was, it was the numbness. So it was like I'm going to the it was a Indian summer, right? So it was like April, but it was like 90 something degrees. And I was like, well, I'm going to the beach because I'm a beach girl. So I was like, well, we going to the beach. But the water was still ice cold, right? Okay. Because it's still April. It's not, it hasn't warmed up yet. So I go into the water and it felt like knives. It was painful. Like really? I could not, I was like, with one of my legs, I was like, oh no. And I couldn't get in the water. But that wasn't enough to take me to the doctor. Then I had numbness. Now it moved up my right side and it took like a week. So it was like numbness from my knee, from my foot to my knee. Then it moved from my knee to my hip. And then it moved
on one side
up here. Right. But my spinal cord separated it. So one side was numb and one side, because I remember going like, and feeling numb on this side and not numb on this side of my torso.
Wow.
And then it went up to like my neck and then it went away for like a week or like 2 weeks. And then it did the same thing on this side. That still wasn't enough for me to go to the doctor.
You didn't go to the doctor? That's insane.
The last thing, I was getting on the highway. And you know, like when you get on the highway and you're like looking like to see if cars are coming. When I looked back, I had double vision. So you know, like when you would turn on the TV back in the day and you have to turn that knob to to make it line up or whatever. That's what I was seeing. And that's when I was like,
Oh, so
No.
how long between? Like, how long is this going?
I want to say probably like 5 months.
Ronnie.
I know. And then I
Yo,
went
that
to
is crazy.
and I went to my doctor, and I was like, something ain't right. I don't know. And I
That's so
explained that
funny.
it's a little weird. Like, and so they tested me because of the numbness, my thyroid, diabetes, all the stuff that causes numbness. And then he was like, they all came back negative. And he was like, oh God, I hope you don't have MS.
Is that what he said to you?
Yes.
I didn't like that.
So I was like, what the fuck? Like, I like AIDS. So I was like, what the fuck is that?
Like, you just gonna say I got
MS? So he's like, we're gonna send you for
this your primary doctor?
Yes. And he was my grandmother's doctor. This is like our
So he
family
an old school
doctor.
doctor.
Yeah. Old school. Like, so I go get the MRI, come back, and he was like, all right, so you have MS. I'm like, what the fuck is MS? Like, what is it?
Nobody gonna say what
Like,
MS. They just gonna say MS.
MS, yes. And so he told me, and then I ended up going to like this neurologist, and I got on Copaxone. So Copaxone is like,
that's when I knew. That's when I knew.
yeah,
Cause you had when I seen you had those bruises. I
yeah.
was like, oh, she on that.
She on
She
that.
on that shit. She on that shit.
So Copaxone is you take a needle every day, and it's
sub-Q.
It's,
So
it's 7 spots on your body. So it's your thigh, your arm.
Was it your butt? Was it the butt?
No, waist.
Side waist. Okay.
Yeah. No, stomach.
It was
But
the
yeah,
stomach.
because I remember it was
Ugh.
here,
It was horrible.
and here.
It felt like
right?
somebody is biting you. Yeah, and you just
and
had
it was
like an
one
auto
more, and
inject.
it was one because it's 7, because it's like 7. Anyway, that was years ago.
It was weekly or daily?
Daily, every day.
Daily, yep.
And it was cool. And like you, I kept moving and grooving. I was moving and grooving.
After all 5 months of freaking double vision
I was
and
stable.
numbness.
I was good. I mean, I could. Hills was like, nah,
I
like
was still in Hills.
I was still in Hills, but it was but I was still in Hills though. Now it ain't. We done with Hills. But I was moving and grooving until I had Gray.
Oh, so yours when you got pregnant?
It was after I had her. So like it goes into remission, guys, when you are pregnant. So
Pregnancy is a cocoon, for MS.
For it to come out. It's coming out. It was Diana Ross with all of the feathers and everything. That shit was like, how coming out?
And it comes out.
The big hair, everything. It was shit. And that's when I went numb. That was the 21 lesions because my whole left side went numb. I couldn't keep a flip flop on. So if you realize when you walk with flip flops, your toes actually go like this. My toes weren't doing shit. So I be walking down the street and that shit just be like,
slide me across the street.
I be like, damn, can y'all get that?
Hey, somebody go across the street.
Get that for me. Like, and it was like I couldn't run. I couldn't do nothing.
This was early in your diagnosis.
No. So
how long was this?
I got diagnosed when I turned 30.
Okay.
Yeah, right when I turned 30. So it was like my 20, like November.
Okay, right before.
Right before I turned 30. I didn't have Gray until I was 37.
Oh, okay.
So I had been living with it and I was cool. And I was like, oh shit, this is MS. This is why he said, oh, I hope
you know that's so crazy because I didn't have that. Like when I got diagnosed, so I got diagnosed in February 2008. Okay. I got pregnant in April 2008. Oh, wow. And I remember the doctor, he would say like, do you have any bladder problems? And I kept saying, I was like, oh my God, I do.
Right.
And I'm like, this MS is taking my bladder. The whole time it's Chad's baking. I didn't know I was pregnant. Oh, so that was the reason why my bladder was, I was like, I've been going to the bathroom a lot.
Right.
But I also didn't know I was pregnant. So I'm like, I just found out I was pregnant. So that was that. Right. So I couldn't even start medicine immediately because I was pregnant.
You were pregnant.
So I couldn't even start.
So you had to wait till after.
I had to wait till after.
So did you have any relapses? Like, I mean, did you anything after? Mm-mm. So yeah, that's when after Gray came, ooh, baby. It was, I found out what MS was and with those hormones. And I guess, well, no, because how old were you when you had
28?
When you had Chaz, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So see, I guess 37. I guess that's age. Maybe played a part in it, maybe. But yeah, that was a lot, and it was just like I couldn't run. I remember Gray, she was 2 at the time, and she was running back and forth between me and my mom. We were in a hotel lobby. And it was like a wall. Like, so my mom was at the front desk. Mm-hmm. And so Gray would run to her and she would run back to me. And when Gray ran, I thought she was running back to my mom. Then all of a sudden I hear this person go, "Who baby is that?"
Oh shoot.
And I looked,
So you
and Gray was running towards the sliding glass doors, the automatic, to leave the hotel. And I couldn't run. I couldn't run. I had no ability to run whatsoever. And I just screamed her name so loud. Like I was like, "Gray!" Like loud. And she was like, and I was like, "Whew, okay." And she stopped.
You couldn't run.
Because I couldn't run.
But now you can run.
I could run.
I saw you run.
Well, yeah, you know, a little bit. I can run.
Something.
I can do something, you know. I can't. So yeah, that was how it was crazy. Then I had to get, in order to get my feeling back, I had to have a nurse come and give the intervened the IV steroids. I had to get 2 treatments.
So you had this early on, like, well, not early, but like, how long had you been diagnosed before you?
7 years.
So it had been 7. Oh, right, because you had Gray 7 years later.
Yeah, 7 years. And then so and Gray was still like crawling around when I had, crazy. And then I blew up and I looked like a wildebeest
because of the steroids.
Because of the steroids, I looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I was like,
that's crazy. I'm sitting here trying to think, because I'm like, when I got diagnosed, I had Chaz.
And you had 2 babies. Like, it was like.
But I remember telling the doctor, I was like, I can't do this Copaxone because it's the summertime. I got all these bruises. I like skirts, dresses.
Because it gives you like whelps.
It was ugly. And I was like, I'm not taking it no more. I mean, to the point where some days I wouldn't take it. Like, that's how light I was, like how low symptomatic I was. Wow. Like, I would just. And then I remember I got on like Avonex, which was where you had to like put it was like an intramuscular, like you had to literally take a needle and like inject yourself.
That one. Wow, okay.
And I used to sit downstairs, like sit at the dining room table, I remember. And Vern used to call me like, "You all right?" I'd be like, "I'm not." So then he had to start doing the needle for me. That was weekly. Okay. And I was like, because I can't imagine injecting yourself. I mean, people do it all the time.
All the time, right.
The needle.
But that big of a needle, right? Because the Copaxone, they actually had, it's like a normal size needle.
It's a clicker.
And you would put it in a gun. The gun, right? And it's like a gun that you could you set the depth. Like, you know, remember you could set the depth, like 1, 2, whatever. And then you just put it and click the button and click, and that was it.
Like somebody biting you though, too.
Yeah, it was like a little like, little. Like,
yeah, so that was.
And then I got on when Copaxone was, you know, fine. And then when I had Gray and I had to switch doctors and I went over to Penn and they put me on to Sabri.
I was on that.
Which was once a month.
Yeah.
And I was cool.
Did you ever take the pill? The Tecfidera?
That was the last. So I didn't like Sabri because it was swelling me up. So guys, just put a pin in this. I got kidney disease too, right? That was hereditary, but yeah, I got that. So I already get swollen from, you know, the kids. So I was like, dog, I can't. It's summertime. I'm very
the vein.
I'm vain. Like, so you got to figure something out. I don't know, because I can't be walking around with these swollen ass ankles and shit like I'm 60, like, or 75. I don't know, but this is not working.
Help me, somebody.
Give me another medicine. I'm not doing this shit. And so that's when I got on the pill.
I was so happy when the pill came out.
Wasn't it? I was like, I'm cool.
And it was twice a day? Was it twice a day?
No. But it was easy.
It was like, and I would forget that sometimes. Like, shit.
I would just take it every morning with my
literally out of sight, out of mind. I'm telling you, because I wasn't having any symptoms. I was like, you know what? I did have like tingling in my fingers sometimes, like tingling. I was like, oh, my fingers are tingling.
Right.
And I would do like that.
Yep.
But I was still doing all the things. I was still dropping down, get my eagle on. I was still wearing heels. I remember, I'm trying to think, I wore heels. I got pregnant with Monroe.
Okay.
So that was 24. I was pregnant like 2014, 2013, 2014.
Yep.
And the doctor was like, I had to plan it, obviously, because I was on medication. He was like, all right, so if you want to get pregnant, you got to stop taking your meds. And then, you know, because it wasn't, you know, they didn't test it for pregnancy. Right. So I was like, all right. So I stopped taking the meds. We was like, we're going to have one more baby. And boom, pregnant. But my doctor's like, if you're going to breastfeed, just breastfeed for like 2 weeks. I want you to get back on your medicine. And I'm like, 2 weeks? And I didn't listen.
And that's crazy.
Shit progressed like a mug.
Are you
After
serious?
Monroe,
So
that's when I progressed.
But okay, wait. Now let's put a pin. Let's think about this. How old were you when you had Monroe?
30, 34. Was 30? Was I 34 yet? 33, almost 34. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
maybe
older,
8, right? I'm just thinking like that's now that we're having this conversation, I'm like, wait,
maybe it was the age.
The age maybe made it because you said you had nothing.
I was chilling
with Chaz.
Yeah. So once I was like noticing like, something's weird. I was like, but then I'm like, I can't wear heels no more. They hurt. Like now they hurt. It was. And I was like, I can't be on them too long. And that was what I was thinking. Like they're hurting. I'm on them too long. And then we were walking downtown. And like sometimes I grab her arm, like just grab his arm because I needed it. And then coming to find out, he's like, "Oh, I thought you was just trying to be like romantic." I'm like, "Honey, I needed your arm. I
can't walk without it.
I needed to balance. Like I was feeling like I was whoa.
No, listen.
So yeah,
it felt like you're always walking on cobblestones, like you're down on city.
Good one. That's a good one.
That walking across that street, walking across Chestnut Street on them cobblestones.
Listen,
baby, you think you want just?
But that was
you
like
see your light flash before your eyes, like oh.
But like, and we were still doing our thing, going to New York, taking long walks, going here, doing this. I was doing all the things,
right,
with no problem. But then
right,
time
and then when Monroe,
after Monroe, I'm just like, I'm like something is a little different. It's a little different.
So what are your symptoms now?
Oh, baby,
like now, like what are the symptoms that
symptoms? All right, so my balance.
Okay,
like my balance is like. I think about every step I take. So like walking, so my left leg feels like I have a weight on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, did somebody put an ankle weight on me and I didn't know it? So my left leg. But what I found is that, like, you know how when you walk up, down. So I have what they call drop foot. So this foot, it doesn't come up. Like I'm literally, when I'm walking, I'm like, lift your foot, lift your foot, lift your foot. So the doctor says, oh, I went to your doctor because I'm like, oh no, Ronnie is thriving. Like she looked like she doing all the things and I can't do, I'm going to her doctor. So I go to her doctor now too. Yeah. And he's bomb. Young guy too.
Young guy.
I had a great doctor. I'm not going to say that my doctor wasn't good.
No.
It was really good.
But I was just concerned because it was just like, I had been on, so the medication that I'm on now is the strongest one they have out, which is Ocrevus, and it's a twice a year infusion medication. So we go twice a year, we're on the machine, and that's it. That's all we, but I've had great results. I don't have the 21 lesions anymore. I have not had any new ones in about 3 years. So I'm considered stable. I'm considered stable. So I used to get MRIs twice a year, where now I just get it once a year now, which I'm kind of mad because MRIs,
that's crazy.
You get to see everything that's going on in your body. So if it was like, nothing can sneak up on us because we get MRIs so much that no other diseases can sneak up on us. We going to see it right away. So now once a year, I was like, you sure? Maybe just one more year we could do twice.
Never.
And now I'm like, all right.
So what I have, so I got my legs, like my symptoms, drop foot. And Dr. Perone, he's like, when you are walking, like yours is physical and it's cognitive.
Yep.
It's because when I'm walking, it's funny because I was coming in the house was that yesterday? And Vern was like, are you saying something? I was like, oh no. He saw me walking to the car. He was like, I heard, what were you saying to me? I was like, no, I was talking to myself. And I was like, lift your foot, lift your foot. So I literally am talking to myself. Every step that you see me take is intentional. Like I'm literally like move, walk. And like when I'm standing, when I stand and stretching, stiffness. That's another thing.
Stiffness. I was waiting for you to say it because I know that for me.
When I get out the bed in the morning, I'm like, I stand in one spot and I stretch. And if I'm sitting down for long, like when I get up from this, I'm going to stand still and I'm going to stretch my body out.
Yep.
And then I'll take my first step.
Yep.
And more recently, remember, when did that happen? Last year, my freaking eyes ended up with optic neuritis. And we're trying to figure out if it's because I switched my medicine, because I did. I came off of Tysabri, and then I took the couple weeks off of that, and then I went to Ocrevus. But like, did that come because of the lapse in medicine, or was this just my
Yeah.
plan? I
So,
don't know.
yeah, we don't know. And that's the thing, you don't know. That's the irritating part about MS is you don't know. And with that's what a relapse is tends to happen for me when I'm late on my medication. When we're not medicated, that's when we tend to have a relapse. And a relapse is basically you get
Another
a
flare up.
burst. It's like a flare up. So you can get any type of symptom that you didn't have before, and that's happened to me during COVID. So of course, because this disease lowers our immune system, because it's an autoimmune disease. I didn't say that right. I'm like, so, so yeah, so I got COVID right out the box. Like I was, yeah, COVID, I got it. Like, so, in order for me to be able to get the Ocrevus, which you go to an infusion center where people have cancer and receiving chemo, you cannot have COVID.
So you had to test.
At that time, this is what I'm telling you, this is when people was praying for you that you wouldn't die, that you wouldn't be in that body bag. Like this is right out the box, okay? So literally, I would have to get a negative. You have to get a negative a negative result on your COVID test. And at this time, when they didn't know too much about COVID, so it was like you're presumptively positive. You're presumptively negative.
So you might be. You might
so
not be.
It was like, and I'm like, yo, I don't have it anymore. Like it was, and so it got to the point where I was supposed to get my medication in May, and I was a month late
because you couldn't get a
because I
negative
could not get. I was like, I swear to God, if y'all don't will out that medicine, I will stick my arm out the fucking car, okay? And you could give me my fucking medicine, like. And it was so finally after the third test, because I ended up getting optical neuritis. What mine looked like was somebody squeezing your eyeball for 30 seconds and then going away. So literally, I would be like, "What the hell?" And then it's done. It's done. And then like maybe 5 minutes go by, and it's like, like
that's crazy.
So I was walking around because you know me, I'm still going. I ain't staying in the house. Yeah. I put a patch over my eye, and I put sunglasses.
So now you're a pirate.
I was a pirate. I was out here, pirate, out working, everything, driving, like driving, everything, and then.
But then yeah, a sight came back.
Yeah, and it came, and that's the thing. But you know, I didn't know that. I took for granted that it doesn't always come back.
Hello, hi.
It doesn't always.
I mean, I can see.
Right.
So optic neuritis. So it's damage to your optical nerve.
Mm-hmm.
So your brain sends a signal to your optical nerve to say see.
Right.
And so when I was like, what is going on? I couldn't see the TV, the captions. I could see it, but it was like looking weird.
Right.
And I've been wearing glasses since the 3rd grade. So I'm like,
I gotta go up. I gotta go up a notch.
I gotta go up a notch. But then in like a split second, I was like, shit, yeah, optic nerve, MS. So I called my optometrist. I'm like, I need you to test, check me out. So she checked. She was like, your optical nerve looks fine. And I'm like, she was like, I think your eyes are just aging. You need progressive lenses. So I went and got like the $1.50 glasses from the dollar store. And I'm like,
we have readers now.
I was like, but it wasn't working. I'm like, I still see the same. And then I started losing color. Like I was like, the color, like if I look from left to the color was fading. So now I'm losing chunks of my vision. I'm like, oh, this is something that's wrong. And so I went to see another optometrist. Yeah. Then I went to an ophthalmologist. I mean, it's been a whole cycle.
The whole thing.
So it was at one point where I couldn't even drive. People were driving me around. I couldn't drive. I'm like, oh my God. I had to take a test. I had to test out to drive, like a vision test, and get cleared to drive.
I didn't know
yes.
That.
I had to, when I went to the institute, the eye institute.
Yeah.
In order for them to clear me to drive, they had to make sure I could see because I couldn't see.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you on a.
Listen, I'm driving, right? And the lines, the yellow lines, they would just go away. Like it would be, so I could be in the opposite lane traffic. Like I was out here crazy. I mean, I'm better now. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100%.
I really didn't know this. This is my girlfriend, but I really didn't know this.
Listen, I'm not 100%.
All right.
So if you waving at me outside in these streets and I don't wave back, it's not because I'm
Yeah.
being an asshole. It's because I like can't see you.
Yes, and I can contest to that. We'll be in the gym, and I'll see her looking around, and I'll be like this, and she'll be like,
And then
I'll
you
be
got
like-
to be
I'll be
cute
like, yo,
with it. You
I'll be
can't
like, you're right.
you can't be like not
See
seeing
it,
and
like,
then
you can't be like, right.
that. So you gotta
But
be
see
like
me, I'll be like this, like I'll be like this. Hey, girl. Hey.
you gotta give me words so I
Hey,
can
girl,
hear.
hey. And
Because
yeah,
my hearing hasn't been impacted.
right.
So
Thank God.
so I can hear you.
I'll be like, what's up?
So it's like I'm seeing in like back in the day picture, and you're seeing in HD 4K, whatever this new stuff is.
This new stuff is.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's a good one.
That's a good one, right? That's a good one.
one.
I don't know. I'm like, what is the pixels? You know how you said you got to line it up?
Beautiful.
I need the pixels. Yeah. But I'm like, damn it, I need to see, because it's like some stuff. I'm like, you know, and then everything is on your damn phone. So I'm like,
Right. It's
So,
crazy.
it's crazy.
So yeah, so y'all, welcome to our world. All
It's our
right.
world.
And this is what we're bringing you into. So, like I said, we decided to do this podcast because there's so much that, one, people don't know about MS, and there's so much similarities, but so much differences
So many
between
difference.
me and Marcel. So we felt like, this could help people, one, to not feel by themselves, feel seen, because you don't feel seen, because this is the invisible
It's definitely
disease. I mean,
invisible.
look, if you look at us,
We look chilling.
we look like we chilling, but you just heard the past 30 minutes us talking about, and we got a lot more, right? We got a lot more we're going to share. So we're going to get into my symptoms. We're going to get into a lot, like relationships, how MS has impacted every single thing in our life. Okay.
Right.
So thanks.
And we're not drunk in the middle of the day.
We going to get on that.
Just so you know.
We going to get on that. See, we putting stuff out to put pin in it, because we want.
Because we know y'all thought that.
All right.
But we ain't been drinking.
We haven't. All right. So yeah, episode 2.
Misunderstood.
Misunderstood.